taxes that are always collected by the point of sale resource, right? The retail store or whomever, the vendor.
How many people can you get to go along with you about that?
What if they don't collect it?
One at a time. No softballs is fine, but I can only do one question at a time. Okay, first you. I don't know. We've got a pretty good following on it so far. I am working with a pretty good group of people down at my alma mater at the University of Chicago right now to come up with some of the specifics on the program itself. But I think that once we get those numbers put into place and we have a really good picture to paint for, for you, for other people in the race, I think that we'll be able to put a really solid case together for our plan on how to do a consumption-based tax versus the progressive tax. Your question, Billy, was what if they don't pay it, correct?
Well, I don't think 1,000 people nationwide is going to enforce honesty, because if you don't enforce it, the honest people pay and dishonest don't.
But we have laws against dishonest people.
Yes.
You know?
Enforcing a
Just trying to
tax.
help you flesh it out a little bit.
Yeah, enforcing a tax at the point of sale, Billy, I don't know. We haven't drilled down there yet, but it's a heck of a lot easier than trying to make each one of you file a personal income form at the end of the year.
Yeah. Your numbers are a little low for size.
We do that.
Well,
we do that right now anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the process is already there.
Andrea.
Yeah, that's my first point, is we already do that, and people are used to it because every county has sales tax, every city has a sales tax, and
Right.
we just automatically pay them. We don't even think about it.
No, you're right. It's almost like we're happy to do it.
I guess my concern is that progressives and liberals will figure out some way that we have to send a check to certain people to make up for the taxes that they have paid because they are in the minority as far as income is concerned.
Sure. Well, okay. The way you address that is you look at. Let's step back for a second. Our country was founded on a republic, the basis of a republic, not a democracy, a republic. And in that republic, we have a small central government that cedes power to the states. In that environment, there's only one mindset that works. There's only one conscience of America, if you will, and that is conservatism. And that is an approach that takes the federal government shrinks it, constantly looks for ways to allow the states to have more rights, states to have more power, and we have to enforce that at the federal level. If we don't, then we run the risk of exactly what you just said, an alternate mindset that doesn't work, not because the people are bad or because they have their heart is in the wrong place. Their mindset is incorrect for the environment that it's working in. It doesn't work. It's putting a square peg in a round hole. It never ever works. So what we need to do is we need to get the right people in the federal government to cede the power to the states, and then we need to keep them accountable, hold them accountable, and keep them there, and keep that mindset there, keep that mindset prevalent in the federal government at the federal level, so that we don't ever have the creep of liberalism or progressivism in the federal government again. It will always be a challenge, but understand that when we talked about the three things that are the greatest risk to our country right now: fraud, waste, and abuse. Well, as the government grows, fraud, waste, and abuse has a place to get a foothold and grow. And that's when you have more government spending, when you have larger government, fraud, waste, and abuse is just part of it.
Oh!
Really, that was an exciting answer. Yeah.
It was a ditto.
Yeah. Roberto.
So you win the election, and by some miraculous
Wait.
thing you become majority leader.
Before you finish, let's soak that in. You win the election.
Roberto, can you speak up as loudly as possible?
Yeah.
And so by some miracle, you also become majority leader. All right?
Okay.
So your top three priorities, second day in office, because the first day you might be a little hungover.
Oh no! If I keep spilling water, maybe. just what we talked about. Look for ways to reduce the size of government by getting rid of bureaucracies we don't need. Look for ways to return power to the states, you know, and ultimately find solutions to the exterior threats that we face, the threat of terrorism, the global war on terror, the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. You know, finding a way to win them, or ultimately bring them to some sort of conclusion that is that works for our national policy, our national foreign policy.
So what are your three most evildoers right now that stand in that way?
As individuals or mindsets?
Well, as laws or policies or programs that are in place now.
My three biggest evildoers.
As far as people, that would be an easy cakewalk to figure out. But
Well, it ultimately goes back to, I guess, kind of what we were talking about with Andrea before, is the mindset that doesn't work in our form of government, in our republic. Any mindset that has to do with growing the size of government is something I'd have to battle against, and I would gladly do so. Any mindset that says that we're not somehow battling a war on terror, that's something I would gladly go into battle with or against. Anything that's going to present a threat.
actually, Dave, I'm looking for something more specific. Like
Okay.
A program or a law or a policy that's, well, maybe you're kind of referring to policy here.
Sure.
But, I don't know, I mean, we've gone through the healthcare, they're talking about.
Yeah, oh,
tax,
okay,
they're
I
talking
see.
about all of this stuff that's going on. Anything specific that would be worth doing first, second, third, to get you where you wanna go?
Well, yeah, it's an interesting question because you know the wheels of Washington turn kind of slow, and so to say that I'm going to go in there and the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the IRS and you know, rid us of the progressive tax system and institute a consumption-based tax, it might be disingenuous. To say that I'm going to go and wait for a glass of water to appear, that'd be fantastic. To say that I'm going to go and thank you, Kirsten, appreciate that. And ultimately find the solution to what victory looks like, right, in the war on terror, and institute that, and rally the generals around what we need to do. Well, it takes time too. That might be disingenuous. To say that I'm going to immediately eliminate the Department of Education, the Department of Energy, and ultimately reduce the IRS, that's tough to do as well. I can't, Roberto, there's not one particular thing ultimately that you can do immediately, but you can start working on the mindset immediately. You can start rallying the people around you that you need to have around you to take on those battles immediately. So I hope I'm being specific enough. I mean, there are plenty of issues. The healthcare issue is a grand one, right? You can start working on replacing that immediately, but it doesn't happen immediately. It's not going to happen until we have either a veto-proof majority in the Senate or a new president, or both, in 2012. So it's not like on day two I'm going to be able to turn the world on its axis, but I'll certainly try. Does that make you feel any better? Okay, all right. All right.
Oh,
First, sir.
This year might be the best chance we ever have to beat Russ Feingold. How do you plan to do that?
Get more votes than him.
That's good. Is there anything else?
That was a softball.
What are we trying to do?
Yeah, the way we're running our campaign is really, it drives a lot of people nuts because the people who've been around politics a long time don't understand how we can do what we're doing and be so successful. We haven't focused on raising a lot of money. We haven't focused on spending a lot of money. We've focused on getting out and meeting people, eye-to-eye contact, face-to-face time, so you can see who I am. You can understand I'm a real guy, and you can challenge me. You can throw questions at me that are not softballs, and I'm going to answer. I'm going to tell you how I feel about these things, and you can see that there's a little bit of you in me. And when you, or I in this case, when I take that stance in this campaign, it's easy for Wisconsin to see that they've got someone that is just like them, someone that they can understand, they can relate to, that they're saying to Washington. And then when you send me there, I'm standing on the floor of the U.S. Senate. You don't have to worry about whose issues I'm fighting for or whose concerns I have at the forefront of what I'm there for. You know that it's yours and yours and yours and yours and yours. You know that it's Wisconsin's values that I'm taking with me.